This is KGW News at 11.
And we are going to begin tonight with an alert for you. Washington County deputies and the Department of Human Services are asking for help finding a wanted man and his 3-year-old son.
25-year-old Gage Burns is believed to be with his son Colt, but the state is supposed to have custody of the boy, and officials think the child could be in danger. Burns has a misdemeanor warrant out for his arrest, and officials believe he's homeless and living in the Hillsborough area, possibly near Chute Park. Call police if you see them.
Now to a fast-moving wildfire in La Pine. It destroyed one home and torched almost a dozen acres.
And experts warn this could be the start of a long fire season here in the Pacific Northwest.
Let's check in with KGW's Mike Benner. He joins us live tonight. Mike, right now several burn bans in our area.
That's right, Dan. As far north as Cowlitz County and as far south as Lynn County. A lot of people being asked to take a break from burning. And here's why. Right now, all of western Washington and parts of Oregon are above normal for the potential of seeing significant wildfires. By August, a good chunk of Washington, Oregon, and California will be at high risk. It is the last thing you want to hear if you live in La Pine, where they saw a threatening fire just today.
Tense moments in the central Oregon town of La Pine. Homes evacuated as a fast-moving wildfire burned through small timber, brush, and grass, ballooning to more than 11 acres.
Not exactly sure the trajectory of the fire, but hopefully it's blowing the opposite direction from our house, but you never know with fires.
Sadly, one home was destroyed in the fire, but nobody injured. That, of course, good news on an otherwise unsettling day in La Pine.
You know, it's definitely drier. We're seeing fires burn more readily than they normally do in May. And part of, we're seeing a weather forecast for the next few days that's going to even bring more dry conditions in.
And the counties you see on this map aren't taking any chances. Burn bans are in effect through the weekend for counties up and down the Willamette Valley. That means, aside from barbecues and backyard fire pits, no burning whatsoever.
There's always that potential if you've burned or are burning for the fire to get away from you.
Fortunately, the fire in La Pine did not get away from firefighters. By early evening, crews had gained the upper hand. This threat may be over, but the fire season is far from it.
This could potentially make a really long fire season for us.
We can tell you that firefighters in La Pine used dozers and fire lines to get a handle on the flames. As far as the cause of this fire, we just don't know yet. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafino joins us now.
Yeah, Matt, so it's been another dry day out there.
Sure has. All around the state, very dry, and we'll be warming up from what we did today. Right now, I'm watching the winds very carefully. So far, they're relatively calmer out of the north, most places. However, I just checked Crown Point, already going easterly with the winds at Crown Point, and that's what's going to be the trend overnight tonight. Everybody's going to see a northeast wind, even at the coast where we have fog and low clouds now. That is going to get pushed offshore as the warm, dry air takes over northwest Oregon and western Washington. We're at 65 degrees right now. No, that's not very hot, obviously, but when you look at where we're going and where we've been, Scappoose is 11 degrees warmer compared to this time last night. Portland and Vancouver, 7 degrees warmer. So already it's a much warmer night than 24 hours ago. That east wind is going to help to dry things out and warm things up. Tomorrow, we've got the red flag warning for dangerous fire weather conditions across not the Cascades, but the Willamette Valley. Very early in the season for us to see it really anywhere in Oregon, but especially in the western valleys here. That's because if any fires do start, they can run uncontrollably and really get out of hand. So very low humidity, daytime humidity tomorrow, 10 to 15%. East winds up to 30 miles an hour in the Gorge and Cascades. And our average first day for reaching 90 degrees in Portland is June 16th. We're going to do it more than a month early, and that's another reason why we have such concern about wildfire, guys. Back to you.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. So it certainly was an impressive sight today. Take a look at some of this video from above. Just a sea of red filling Portland's waterfront park earlier today.
That's 20,000 teachers walking out of class to demand more funding.
Public education is under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
The group marched through the streets of downtown Portland, chanting and carrying signs, calling for more education funding. This was just one of several rallies around the state, organized by the Oregon Education Association. That's the state's teachers union. The union's president said the message is simple.
We are here to ensure that every educator and every student have what they need to make sure our students are successful.
The biggest thing is that we need funding that maintains current levels of services. Right now we can't maintain what we have in Beaverton with the funding the state has offered. And then we need sustainable solutions for the future. We can't do this every few years. It's too hard. It's exhausting. I'm tired.
We checked with some of the largest districts in our area. In Portland, North Clackamas, and Beaverton districts, teachers were not paid today. In some cases, that pay will be made up by adding an extra day to the end of the school year. While teachers rallied outside the state capitol today, Senate Republicans didn't show up for the second day in a row.
So that meant no vote on an education funding bill. Now, while you're listening to this story, we'd like you to get ready to vote in our viewer voice poll. Democrats are trying to pass a $2 billion package right now called the Student Success Act. This would generate revenue by taxing businesses that bring in more than $1 million a year. Now, Republicans don't really like this deal. They want to assure that the money won't go to that rising PERS cost. Meantime, Governor Kate Brown weighed in on this earlier today.
And so we're really not seeing the impact in the classroom. And so we're saying with this new revenue, the people of Oregon need to be guaranteed that our students that are in our schools today are going to be able to benefit from the new programs that revenue provide.
The Republicans are just wrong. They should be here fighting for more dollars into the classrooms. They should be fighting to reduce class sizes and improve educational outcomes for all of our kids. We're committed to fixing PERS. We can do both.
The bill specifically earmarks revenue for education, but it would take an amendment to Oregon's Constitution to completely bar future lawmakers from ever reallocating that money away from education. So please let us know what you think. Weigh in on this. Is the Student Success Act a good way to fund schools? Just go to kgw.com/vote or click the Viewer Voice tab on your KGW app to weigh in on this. We'll reveal the results a little later in the show.
For months, we've been reporting on what's happening in schools across Oregon in our Classrooms in Crisis series. Investigative reporter Kristen Severance has been shining a light on the chaotic, sometimes violent disruptions by elementary school students. Tonight, we dedicated an hour to talking about solutions with teachers, administrators, parents, and lawmakers. The solutions they came up with range from mental health support to changing how kindergarten is taught to hiring a more diverse teaching staff. You can watch our full Classrooms in Crisis Solutions special on the KGW YouTube page right now, and check out a conversation we had after the special on the KGW Facebook page.
People were saying that people were digging up plants out of people's yards, and I'm like, okay, this has gone too far.
It has. Yeah, new tonight, got some complaints of a plant thief out there invading southeast Portland. Someone has apparently been stealing potted trees. They're even digging up flowers from people's front yards. Yeah, sounds too crazy to be true. We sent out KGW's Catherine Cook to figure it all out for us.
Ah, springtime, when everything's in bloom and apparently up for grabs.
The spruce is loose.
Like Lisa Neal's potted spruce.
It was exactly like these. It was just right over there.
Stolen overnight from her home in the Foster Powell neighborhood. She posted about it on Nextdoor.
It's like I felt bad because somebody got their car stolen, and then I'm like, somebody stole my tree.
She laughs, but it's upsetting. She was going to plant the trees at the coast to honor her late mom.
Okay, this has gone too far.
Not far from here in the Richmond neighborhood, more plant thievery.
It's just ridiculous.
A whole mound of daylilies dug up from a parking strip.
It is a big deal. You know, if you buy the plants, they're expensive.
It's why Kristen Dolan keeps all of her plants fenced in.
The peace and serenity that it provides.
I'm very surprised and I'm saddened. That's too bad.
Neighbors say if the thief was really a plant person, they'd know all they'd have to do is ask.
I mean, if they're real desperate, I can take starts off of things.
If you don't think stealing someone's plant or tree is a crime, you're wrong. Police say it could get you criminal mischief, criminal trespassing, or theft. And depending on the value of the swiped shrubbery, felony theft.
It's not the price of the tree, it's the fact that somebody came and took a tree out of my yard.
Lisa hopes the thief turns over a new leaf and returns it.
Stop stealing people's trees and plants.
In southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Hillsborough police tonight say they have arrested a 15-year-old boy accused of giving students drugs that sent them to the hospital. The teenager is charged with delivery of a controlled substance. Health officials say 5 Hillsborough High School students overdosed on benzos last week. Those are prescription drugs like Xanax and Valium. And remember the shootout that shut down I-84 back in February? Today, the district attorney ruled officers acted lawfully when they fired on the suspects. Those suspects were wanted in connection with the murder of a Kelso store clerk. The DA says the Vancouver officer who fired multiple rounds at the vehicle thought the suspects were pointing a gun at him and his partner. Police say they did find a gun in the suspect's vehicle, but they never found any evidence the gun was fired during the chase.
The student killed in a Colorado school shooting yesterday is being remembered as a hero. 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo, just days from graduating and joining the Marines, charged at one of the attackers when he burst into the classroom. Students and teachers gathered at a vigil tonight. They wanted to remember him and honor the other 8 students who were hurt in that attack. Kendrick's parents said that at one point he actually told them if a shooter ever walked into his school, he wouldn't hesitate to act. And on Tuesday, he kept his word.
He would not let somebody get hurt, if he had anything to do with it. If he had to be there to protect somebody, that's what he was going to do.
And the police arrested 2 students in this shooting, an 18-year-old who you see here and a younger classmate. Both were in court today for the first time.
Next, caught on camera, a crane operator comes to the rescue of people stranded in a burning apartment building.
Then a little relief and a lot of pushback. Why some neighbors in Southwest Portland say a program to help the homeless is a little too effective.
And an alarming revelation about sunscreen. Turns out it may be putting unsafe chemicals in your bloodstream.
And you still have time to vote in our viewer voice poll. Remember, we asked, do you think that the Student Success Act is a good way to fund Oregon schools? Go to kgw.com/vote or weigh in on the KGW app. We'll be right back after this.